If you're the kind of woman who's done the inner work, who knows what she wants and still finds herself chasing after breadcrumbs from emotionally unavailable men or one-sided relationships, you are not crazy and you're definitely not broken. You may be stuck in a trauma bond. In this podcast, I'm breaking down how even the smartest, most emotionally intelligent, and self-aware woman can get caught in toxic love cycles, and how to shift from trauma bonding into true, secure connection. Let's get into it. You've played nice, you've played small, you've followed all the damn rules, and now you're freaking done. This is for the woman who's smart, self-aware, and done shrinking herself to be chosen. If you're tired of chasing emotionally unavailable relationships, tired of losing yourself in love, and ready to burn down the old rules to the ground, welcome home. This is where you stop overgiving, stop second-guessing, and start becoming the truest, freest, most badass version of yourself. Let's get into it. A trauma bond just isn't about physical abuse or emotional or psychological abuse, okay? It's about an emotional attachment that forms in relationships where there are repeated cycles of inconsistency, emotional neglect, and just enough validation to keep you hooked. So there's lots of highs and lots of lows. It is that process, having that roller coaster relationship. Even if you're getting that love, that closest, that connection every once in a while, that is enough to hook you. And all the other times you're going to experience intense lows. This will create a trauma bond. This is what I would do. I would just take the responsibility for both of us. And if it didn't work out, I would blame myself and think, oh my God, this is my fault. I couldn't fix it. I would blame myself for the failure of the relationship as if it was my fault. I talk about this in my Real Love Blueprint on how we have this pattern that's hidden to us and how we show up in our relationships. In this video, I'm breaking down even how the smartest, self-aware, emotionally intelligent woman can get caught in toxic love cycles and how to shift from trauma bond into true, secure connection. For smart, educated women, this can be so confusing because you're so used to pushing through discomfort, fixing problems, taking responsibility. Even in relationships, I would do this. I would take on the responsibility for me and my partner as if it all fell onto my shoulders. I was the strong one. I was the one holding everything together. I was the one doing the physical labor, the emotional labor. And I was just exhausted. So what happened is we normalize the pain. We make excuses for their behavior. And you might be confusing anxiety with chemistry. And you might see the red flags. Or maybe you didn't. But if you grew up earning love by being the good girl, the overachiever, the helper, you may unknowingly be drawn to emotionally unavailable partners because they replicate a familiar emotional pattern that played out in your family. Because, as I talked about last week, you may unknowingly be drawn to emotionally unavailable partners or one-sided relationships because they feel familiar to how you grew up. Here's the twist. Your nervous system is wired for survival, not satisfaction. So even if your mind consciously knows this relationship isn't good for you, your body craves the high of being chosen, being seen, to finally feel good enough. It becomes addictive. You do too much, you work too hard, and you self-sacrifice. This is overfunctioning. You shrink, you try harder until you're just emotionally depleted. Let me give you a few signs that you're in a trauma bond dynamic. And I have experienced this, and let me tell you, it is very difficult to end those type of relationships and to walk away for good. But I did that, so I know just how challenging it can be. So, you feel anxious when they pull away, but relief when they throw you a little attention. You justify or downplay their emotional unavailability. You may say, oh, they gotta work. You keep hoping they'll change and show up for you, even though you're repeatedly disappointed. You overthink everything they do or say. You feel like you're too much, not enough, or both. You feel the high after a text. You feel the anxiety when they pull away. And feeling seen sometimes is just enough to stay. And you're exhausted, but you can't let go. Sound familiar? This is not love. It's survival mode in disguise. You're wired to survive, fix, and earn love, not because you're weak, but because you are strong. So how do you break free? You don't start by trying to fix the relationship. You start by healing the part of you that believes love needs to be earned through working hard or overgiving or sacrificing or taking on too much responsibility. By taking on too much of the emotional labor in the relationship, by managing their moods or their feelings, or always being the one to smooth things over and avoid conflict. Maybe you're being too accommodating, too pleasing, putting their needs first and ignoring your own needs. Maybe you avoid expressing your needs, desires, or boundaries so you don't rock the boat. Staying because you see their potential and you want to help them grow. And maybe then you'll finally get your needs met. And you're doing more to maintain that connection, or constantly scanning for what you did wrong and how to fix it. You deserve love without actually doing a damn thing. You are lovable, you are worthy, you are deserving, period. You don't have to do or give to be loved. Real connection feels calm, consistent, and safe, not confusing or chaotic or conditional. When you regulate your nervous system and understand the hidden wounds that are in the background and begin showing up from self-worth instead of survival, you stop chasing unavailable relationships and men who are unavailable and just accept this is who they are and nothing's ever going to change. Because that's the reality. You stop chasing love that is unavailable. And then you can start attracting the kind of secure, mature, healthy partnership that you truly deserve. If this helped you, then check out my podcast last week about why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men even though you're smart and self-aware. Love should not feel hard. Love should feel warm, safe, like a cozy blanket. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember, you were never too much. They just weren't enough. You can become the badass you've always wanted to be, punch fear in the face, live life on your own terms, and attract the kind of real love that actually deserves you.